Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone-Faced Reactions. This time we're watching more Iron-Blooded Orphans. It's been a short while since we picked it off, but this is going to be episode number 4, and Theta, why don't you remind us what happened last time? I definitely remember what happened.
First off, the pedantic in me picked it up, you mean? If we picked it off, we killed it.
Oh, picked it up, I suppose, instead of off.
Mm-hmm. You pick
There we
something
go.
off when you're a sniper.
Who's to say I'm not MLG like that?
I mean, what happened last episode was that my favorite character died, and your character is a psychopath.
Yup.
The oh god, now I'm calling her princess. You call her a princess all the time. The girl and the noble girl. I don't know what she is. She's and not an admiral. She's an ambassador's daughter or something like that. And she also gives talks to NATO, it looks like, or whatever the equivalent of NATO is. And she wants to go to Earth to give another one of those speeches with the gang that we've all met so far. After they committed a coup of tying everyone's thumbs together and then shooting a bunch of them and then letting everybody go and giving them back pay. The accountant stayed, so did Fat Hitler. Noblesse Noble Dan? I can't remember his name now. Is on his way, which I suspect is the cowboy.
Yeah. We keep thinking it's probably going to be the cowboy, and that's going to be great.
Well, yeah, his name is Noblesse something. It's like a normal name. Noblesse something.
Noblesse Joe.
Well, that's what I was making the joke. It means his name is like Noble Joe or Noble Ed or something like that. I can't remember. I mean, that's where we left off.
Yup. The dramatic fight ended. They're all reeling a little bit. This seemed like it was going to be maybe a more character-focused episode. Well, I mean, less fight-focused will definitely be the thing. I don't think they're going to start a fight this one.
I mean, no one
They're going to go over
reeling.
motives and stuff. That's my guess.
Nobody was reeling. Nobody actually cared.
Oh, well, I guess they're all preparing to go to Mars is more the thing.
They're on Mars. Where do you think we are right now?
To leave Mars. All right, look, see, I woke up at some point in the past, and I'm still asleep.
I haven't gotten any sleep. I woke up every 2 hours last night.
See, you got the advantage. You don't have to have wake-up grogginess, you know?
Yeah, no, I just have the grogginess of not slept. Like jet lag.
It's okay. The hallucinations are fine.
Well, you and I were having a conversation before we started recording, and I said, let's bring this into the actual recording. The dissonance of reaction versus when you're watching this alone and when you're watching this as a group.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because I brought up before, I'm currently watching on my own, anyone who out there is watching it, Ranking of Kings, which I've compared to like Miyazaki Game of Thrones, and that I cry. I fucking cry. I'm putting this on the record. I cry every time I watch that show. It is so fucking emotional. I can't get over it. But if I had decided not to watch it alone and said, hey, Griff, let's watch it on this, I think I'd be laughing. Because it's not how you react when you're in a group of people. Like, I'm not saying that I'm a tough guy. I can't cry in front of another dude. I'm saying 37 years of not crying in front of other dudes. It's just how I work now.
Yeah, and honestly, like, observation changes the observed, right? Ultimately, everything here is in some sense a performance. You are getting genuine reactions, but they are different reactions than, say, when I'm leaned back in my chair, stuffing Cheetos in my mouth and having no facial expression. Completely different from how I am now.
Yeah, you gave the point that you have less reactions when you're watching things alone. I have more reactions, but they're also different reactions. At the same time, I also stated I don't think Gundam would trigger any reactions in me. I get melancholy, I get lethargic, I get sadness from the emotional connections I get in other animes, whereas Gundam is, so far, been mostly fight scenes, emo kids, and jokes. And the only thing that's inspiring me to react right now are jokes.
Yeah, when it comes to this series, it's a lot of politics and a lot of brooding, and not a lot of empathy yet, I think.
Well, I mean, again, my favorite character, who's already dead, he had the whole, I'm a warrior, I can't put my men through this, I don't want to fight and kill kids. I mean, those were emotional stepping stones, but they're not like things that I'd feel, right? They have nothing to do with me. So it's like, yes, I like this character, and here's my intellectual reasons why I like this character, because I can stand behind his morals and everything he is about. It's not something that's going to make me feel sad or, you know, it's adrenaline fuel. It's not emotional fuel.
Right, but even so, he's clearly the character like we had like the most emotional attachment to immediately here. Now the question's going to become, all right, so what's our emotional center going to be here, other than the kids being tortured for being child soldiers?
I mean, I don't think that they are being tortured. They weren't being tortured before, apparently, which is why they overthrew the parents. But not their parents; they're orphans.
Their parents. That's how they become the orphans.
I'm going to just say authority figure, but parents came out. You know, what more authority figures do you have than parents? But, I mean, you know, they tied them up and shot them, so clearly they're doing all right for themselves, and they somehow formed a corporation.
I think it was just a mercenary corporation already, and they just took over what was already.
No, they had to rename it. They renamed it, which means that they had to... And then they kept the accountant on board, so apparently they're going through legal channels. You know, we just assassinated our bosses and rebranded a corporation legally.
They've covered like the situation that caused a lot of orphans to exist on Mars, but of all the politics, they haven't really covered like, wait a second, how did we get to the point of mercenary corporations having child soldiers on Mars? Part.
Well, I mean, they didn't really
that part
cover
maybe is more.
They didn't really cover the situation. They covered a broad scope situation that, hey, times aren't great right now. But I mean, they showed people on Earth when they were saying that. So how did starving people on Earth wind up as orphans on Mars? Because, you know, cost of putting somebody in orbit ain't cheap.
I imagine they actually grew up there. This seems like a longer term colony.
Does that mean that Earth is filled with child soldiers as well?
Maybe. Well, let's find out when we get to Earth. Let's watch.
Damn brats. Picking a fight with
he wants a Gundam.
Yeah, you might as well dig your own grave. They've controlled this world for centuries, and you think we can take them? How stupid can you be? Man, this is it. We're dead.
I guess you're just gonna have to go to a pub and like organize some sort of people's movement against the government.
Sure.
Gonna have to escape to Argentina again.
Bastards. We need to
some sort of beer hall push.
You think there's a company that would accept us?
There might be a way to use these idiots.
Yeah, sounds like a thing Hitler would say.
Hey, he's a traitor.
God, the desire in me just to say Fat Hitler is now my character for the for the continued laughs.
He honestly has been so far. Congratulations. He's also going to die this episode.
You say that, but he survived everything so far. When everyone had their hands tied together and shot in the head. Fat Hitler not only came out of it, but he also told them what to do.
I forgot how bopping the song was.
Yeah, I think we said something in the first episode. But the problem is that in reactions, no one's hearing any of this. This is one of those instantly claimed songs.
Remember, everyone, go ahead and check out the link down below to go watch someone else's video where they posted the video online.
I think we said this is probably one of the groups that did theme songs for My Hero Academia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely their voice.
Oh, look, it's probably Noblest whatever. Noblest Edward.
And with a knife. Mars corn.
And corn is a big theme, apparently. Shows up in all the endings.
The intro has me wondering if they ever actually leave Mars.
First, we'll go to the low orbit station.
I think you just got that answer.
We'll meet up with our guide ship. Then we'll transfer to our
literally happening right now in the background.
Proceed onward to Earth.
But why do we need a guide there?
Well, normally, all the main routes to and from Earth are under the strict control of Gallarhorn. And since you're their target,
it's
it wouldn't be
space.
smart to transport you in plain sight. So we need a back door. Our plan is to use a route that doesn't cross with any paths.
It's a lot of
Gallarhorn
routes
are
considering
watching
how big
over.
space
It's
is.
gonna be kind of complicated.
Yeah.
None of us
I
have
mean,
been
what are
to
the
Earth, so
routes
guides
that
are
go
only option.
perpendicular to
These routes are
Earth
divided
go to?
territories. So
Uh,
we might have to deal with all the civilian
Good question. It's basically without considering orbits here.
Would be the Orcus Company. As a matter of fact, I've known the CEO for years. I could contact him anytime.
Why are you so
Now,
well
don't tell me
connected,
you
Hitler?
actually trust this scumbag.
But that's hard.
Well,
We're
I guess because he's
brothers,
immortal.
comrades.
He's had 300 years or so to...
Hey, don't sweat it. If he screws up, he knows
Ugh.
what'll happen to him. Don't you?
I hear you, boss. Loud and clear.
Let's go back
You
home
say
to
you have your
Brazil.
own ship?
That's right. So we need to register the ship as Tekkadan property ASAP.
Well, I've got
See,
Akihiro
legally,
and Dexter
they have
taking care of
changed the
that.
corporation.
Yes. It gets real from here on out.
It's Tekkadan's first official job.
Contract negotiations, the episode.
Well, I mean, they're already waiting for negotiations with Orcus when Hitler
I gotta
just
admit, your
proposed it
subordinates look
just
like they were
now.
Pretty run
Same
down
scene.
out there.
I managed to get a hold of Orcus. It took some doing, but he agreed to guide us to
We had to
Earth.
contact the
Yeah?
ninth
How much
level of
do they
the
want?
underworld.
45% of
He
what
says
we're
he'll swear to
That's
assign
one hell of
all
a
of his
service
undead
charge.
soldiers to our
We don't
cause.
have much of a choice, do we?
You have got to be kidding me. 45% for guide work's a ripoff. Toto, your sorry ass better not be taking a kickback.
If you don't like it, you handle negotiations.
What'd you say?
Now.
I like to imagine he
We
goes
still
to
need
that
to decide who's gonna
negotiation
go to
just
Earth with
in
us.
that same
What's everyone
tank
else
top
supposed
shirt.
to do?
He has no other
Orga and
clothes
I
as far as
talked
we
it
know.
over. We can still sell the stuff from the battle, and there's always the usual farming work to float us
I
for a
should have
little
known
while.
this would happen. How boring.
I'm sorry, were you expecting some excitement? Legitimate jobs are always dull, you know that.
Well,
God,
don't
what
you
is up with
think
your hair,
escorting
man?
Cordelia would
I
be
don't want to bring
kinda
this up
risky?
again, but...
Yeah, but that's different. After all, she's a
What about
celebrity.
main character Cowlick?
Can
Oh, there
manage
you
to
go.
get
You
her
guys
Earth
back to the
safely.
grape
The
states,
Tekkadan
whatever
name
they
will
are.
spread like wildfire.
Maybe it'll bring in some more jobs. We might
Really
be able to
chewed
live a
on that
decent
one.
life instead of just
It's
scraping
been in his
by.
pocket for weeks
There's
now.
definitely some risk involved, but it's worth it.
But we've got more riding on this than money. Our whole future depends on it.
Yeah, if this is just to cover expenses to get somewhere, man. Like, it doesn't matter what you're paid.
Just yet,
Well, in
boy.
episode 3, they discussed how they're going to run out of money pretty quickly.
Yup.
Hey, keep it down, Shino.
Kind of showed why the accountant was so important, because they thought, oh my god, we have way too much money. And he's like, you're going to run out of money in like 2 months.
Yep. Because the original boss stole it all.
Why aren't
No,
you
no,
eating?
because
Because
they're running on a deficit. That's why they need jobs.
Well, I mean, you saw him evacuating the entire safe and leaving. Remember?
No, you remember he got shot in the head. What are you talking about?
Thank you.
The original boss got shot in the
I
head.
must say, I'm surprised. Your decision was not an easy one. You're quite brave, my lady.
You're too
Oh man, we're back to
young warriors
making fat
in
people
tow.
evil
The
again.
war goddess rushed into the jaws of death, ready to build an eternal
The highly
paradise
comfortable
atop
place to have a
their
video
corpses.
conference in the sauna.
It's like a tale from mythology, isn't
I'm just
it?
saying that
I
if you
knew
have
my
like
confidence in you
obviously
wasn't
evil guy,
misplaced.
you
My
make him with
young
jowls
hero.
and constantly sweating. The fact that they put him in a sauna doesn't mean anything. It's just how you do it.
Rob them of their happiness.
Is there a reason we're in this dump? Cordelia Ina Bernstein. No one knows where she is now.
I know that name. The one responsible for the Noah Kiss
I
July
wonder if
assembly?
is the
That's the one.
inspector's undercover.
Oh, here they're
offense?
explaining it
I
finally.
heard rumors that she was negotiating with the Arbrow government on her own.
What? I can't believe that.
Politics.
Negotiating with Earth's economic bloc should be
Reconstruct
impossible for
devastated
someone
Earth
who's
sphere,
from the
Africa
outer
Union,
sphere.
and Ocean. So I guess that was
I've
post
received
calamity.
reports that a battle took place here a few days ago.
Yeah.
And before that occurred, Cordelia's father, Norman Bernstein, went up and paid our friend Coral a visit.
I see.
He should get back
You
with
think
the
Major
others.
Coral had her targeted, don't you? Then
Investigators
that
are
means
putting
the
this
missing
together.
company must have come out
It's a
here.
Walking Dead joke for the rest of you.
Capturing her would put them in some good graces.
I think they're realizing that this is above them.
The cops or the kids?
The cops.
No, the cops just said a lot of
I'm not
very
really
above the
sure.
board
It's
stuff.
something Orga
Like
asked
they're
me
like,
to
we
do.
can handle this, and the kids won't even know what's coming.
So, where are we?
Sakura's cornfield.
And
Oh, hey, it's Cornfield.
She's my grandmother.
Yeah.
But I still don't understand why you want
Also, how is he an orphan if he has a grandmother? Just want to throw that out there.
It's good to see you! Oh, hello, Atra. I didn't know
And that means
you
if
were
these
here.
two kids are related to him, and he has a grandmother,
What brings you here? Brother!
he's gonna die. He's not an orphan.
Hi!
Sorry, I meant those two kids, not that kid. In fact, I doubt he even has iron in his blood.
Vegetables now. Well, yes, sort
About
of.
time.
Hey, Sakura.
Is this all of you?
Yeah,
Fine.
I'm sure he'll
Then
become
let's
an
get
orphan
started.
soon.
The day's a wasting.
right. Follow me.
Okay, but here we go. We have our empathy now.
So you brought Cordelia along.
We
with
do
you.
What?
normal things.
We already knew about this relationship. She's in love with him. He made the bracelet that he keeps
That's
sniffing
right. This is the one you
all
made
throughout
for me,
last
isn't it?
episode.
No, I mean like they're here interacting, doing a normal thing, not being stressed and not being
Just
involved
like
in war.
mine.
There's no
Yeah.
emotion here. The most emotion I'm gonna get from this is that she dies, and then he has the constant bracelet on his
Look, why don't we just
wrist to
interrogate
remind
Coral? It'd be a
of
lot
her.
less boring.
It would also
and that's
be a waste
even
of
less
time.
of an emotional
We need
twist
strong evidence on our
because
side.
it's a triangle.
Fastidious, as usual.
Because the other girl's in love with him too.
It's my duty. Almeria?
She hasn't seen you in a while, and it's driving her crazy, you know?
Oh, now he's gonna
Come
die.
on. She might be 9 years old, but she's still your fiancé.
Wow, this is awkward.
Excuse me.
It's fine.
What'd I
She's my
say?
friend's
Stop
sister.
saying that.
Don't fool yourself.
I wouldn't dream.
Damn it, Gundam! I thought you were above this.
That really needs a twist of something like just because she said that doesn't make it true. You know, something to make it alright.
At least when Gate did it, they were just like, "Oh yeah, basically all girls that age say that. Just ignore it."
Well, I mean, Gate also did it with a 1,000-year-old girl. But, I mean, not quite as good either, you know.
Anime is weird.
Watch your step.
I gotta say, that was just a little preposterous. Being so bad that you fall over like that.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, it leans back to episode 2 where she hasn't used her hands.
Mm-hmm. Aristocrat and everything. She's the princess.
It very much falls into, this hair is so heavy, I'm falling backwards.
When I'm outside and working with my hands, it really helps clear my mind. It's so refreshing.
Did you say whenever I work with my
Glad
hands?
to hear it.
Yup, whenever.
Is that what
Like
I
that whole
need?
conversation we just had about her never working with her hands?
How much do you think that crop in your hand is worth?
$5.
Maybe she gardens.
For 1 ear of corn? About
$6.
200 gallers?
50 gallers a bunch.
Well, I mean a bunch. How many's in a
Cheap,
bunch?
right? They're mostly used as raw material
Dunno.
for biofuel. Without Biscuit's salary, Sakura wouldn't be able to keep this place running. But we're back in the game now. And that wouldn't be the case if you hadn't come along. Means a lot. Thanks.
Now here's the empathy. There you go.
No, I'm still
Character
not feeling
expresses something other than brooding.
it. Well, no, he's talking down to her because he clearly doesn't understand.
She'll take Mikazuki away.
He legitimately and politely thanked her for what she was doing to help other people.
I feel more empathy towards these two girls than anything that's happening with the main character. Their adorableness is more than anything going on between these two.
I mean, but that's just what you do with kids. You make them adorable, and now they're all about to die because
Oh, I
of the
hate
screech.
plenty of kids. I hate...
Oh, they just got run over. Shit, that took 5 seconds.
I doubt it. I bet they're messing around.
Okay, they're not dead.
It's not what you think. Let him go.
See? Your psychopath main character,
That's
by the way.
enough of that, you boneheaded oaf.
What happened?
We ran in front of them without thinking. They turned to make sure we wouldn't get hit.
Do you remember episode 1?
Let me apologize.
Stop! You'll hit us! These two sons of bitches just stay in the middle of the road anyway.
Hey, what happened to Mikazuki? I was so worried. Sorry. You're okay.
Oh, they are Gellerhorn. I assume that the symbol with a horn on it means that they're Gellerhorn.
Now,
Guess I was wrong.
Hey, you alright?
your temper's out of control. Be careful.
Right, my fault.
I'm not the one you should apologize to, moron.
Really sorry about this.
Not yet, but you will be! What's your deal, farm boy?
You know, the polite thing
What's
to
that
do
on your
would be to
back?
take a punch.
An Alea Vignana system.
A what?
A bioorganic device that's surgically implanted into the human body.
Yeah, you can't
I
hide
heard
that.
They were still being used out here.
You put that thing inside your...
I mean, it does look disgusting. We all have to admit that. I mean, I'm sure it looks a lot worse if this was, like, real action.
I'm terribly sorry I put you through such a scare.
Yeah,
This
there's a
isn't
lot of
much,
verbs I could use
but I
there to,
do
like,
hope you
describe
can
something
take it as an
like that
apology.
and make people unsettled.
I just had this candy on hand. I also marry 9-year-old girls. I'm weird. I'm probably not a good
You
guy.
should see a doctor just in case. Before we go, may I ask you something?
Sure, what is it?
There was a battle here. It occurred within the last few days. Have any of you noticed anything unusual?
Now that you mention it, I remember hearing some pretty intense shooting 2 or 3 days ago. But there's a paramilitary organization nearby, so it might have been them training, right?
Yeah.
I see. Thank you
Good
for
thing
your
you're not
help.
wearing your combat
You.
fatigues or anything.
You have
Yeah.
some amazing moves. Did you train somewhere?
Or,
Yeah.
you know,
Here
the
you
guy
are.
that just assaulted us doesn't have, like, military equipment in his back. Maybe it's just the Japanese anime
Close one.
thing, that he's an
We didn't seem to
aristocrat and
know
he
too
has an
much about our
arranged
fight the other
marriage.
day.
Well, maybe Gallagher
Right,
has
right.
factions? Guess we got lucky. Hey, great timing! What do you think?
I guess you have to paint the rest of the building white now.
What is it?
It doesn't really
It's
match.
the symbol of Tekkadan.
That's going to be a lot of paint for the accounting to take care of.
Hey, not too shabby, kid. It's a fish, huh?
Huh? It's a flower, dumbass.
It's pretty
Tekkadan
damn
They
supposed to
fleur
rep-
the lease.
I mean, was Tekkadan supposed to represent
Mika.
flour? I forgot.
It's ours. Let's make
Maybe.
sure we protect it.
This is very much Gurren Lagann. I want to point that out. You have the older guy who's, hey, little brother, but I'm not actually related to you. Hey, I'm going to form an organization.
you don't leave
Look
me
at this
hanging.
giant symbol that I painted.
Hey, they're setting up his betrayal.
Adults are terrifying, kids. And when I'm done, you won't ever forget it.
What's that? Hitler's up to no good?
No,
Who
say
would've-
it isn't so.
Wouldn't have guessed.
He would never try to just murder a whole bunch of people, right? Oh, wait. Oh no. What a bit of dissonance between the main character's dialogue and what's obviously about to happen.
Well, Hitler's in the next
But I guess that's the
episode,
point.
and apparently so are the commies.
Oh boy. Well, that was interesting. You keep saying it's like, oh, there's no emotion or anything. It's like that's not the point. The point is to build up like characters not hating each other.
I'm not feeling attachment, right?
Mhm.
They're doing the Gundam Wing thing of, hey, I'm the distant, haughty, damaged Gundam pilot, and I have a mission to do this very specific thing, and apparently I'm also a psychopath. And, hey, I'm this girl that's in love with you, and I don't know actually why. The one that made the bracelet, because they apparently have a connection from before, and apparently he's into something about her because when he's in the heat of battle, he's sniffing that bracelet like crazy, and he's still wearing it, and she made one for herself. So, kind of in a ReZero fashion, they're both attached by this thing. And we don't know what that's about, and because I don't know what it's about, I have no attachment to it. And
Well, he clearly has like some alternate family here with the grandmother and all, despite being an orphan and part of the paramilitary thing. I guess they let them leave and go home every now and then, which I'm not really sure about.
Well,
the mechanics of this are a little confusing, but it's clearly something he's a part of.
The grandma isn't attached to the girl that has the bracelet. That's a different person. Because you remember, she's from the shop, and the shop has a different woman there. Not the grandma.
Right. It's like a handful of families, but they are connected together. They are all friends.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know what the attachment between these two is, and without that knowledge of attachment, I have no attachment to her. Plus, she only's been in, like, I don't know, 10 minutes total for the last 4 episodes.
Mhm.
And at most, she looks cute. That's all we got. Because
Probably
otherwise,
needs a bit of a character moment, yeah.
yeah, and then otherwise we have this weird attachment between the noble girl, whatever we're going to call her, because I keep forgetting her name, even though it's 3 words and 100 syllables long.
Mhm.
Where she's apparently smitten with him from the moment she saw him, to the point
Yeah.
where I'm going to leave this room where we're all talking about important stuff to chase you down a hallway and be confused by the fact you won't shake my hand.
Meanwhile, the investigators are pretty interesting. They're kind of like the driving force right now, which instigates the future conflict for the next episode here. They clearly have found out what they needed or wanted to know.
Well, no, they showed up knowing what they wanted to know.
They
knew
were
where they
talking
were
about figuring
going.
it out.
No, they knew where they were going. They knew where the girl was supposed to be. And on the drive there, they talked about everything that had happened so far. So they know everything that's going on. They just haven't seen the players yet. Well, I mean, they met the players, but they didn't see their faces or anything beforehand. So they didn't know who they were talking to.
This was the final act of discovery, basically. Now they're going to go back. Everyone has all the information in play, and that clearly is what leads to the conflict.
Well, the investigators have all the information in play.
The
kids don't. They have no idea what the hell's going on. They're moving forward with their own plan.
Right. I meant just for their side, their team. That's all. But it's going to be a cool fight next time, apparently. They're going to space, and people are already shooting guns, and Fat Hitler betrays people.
Well, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's why the kids don't know what's going on, because they don't even realize what's happening in their own midst.
So, they've been using these mobile workers for most of the characters so far, because they only have the one Gundam and no other mobile suits. Where are they going to get the other mobile suits from? Because they are going to space.
Before we cover where they're getting it from, because I already know, obviously, where they're going to get them from. But the mobile workers and the mobile suits are different things.
Yes, I know.
The mobile workers were...
I don't think the mobile workers are going to work in space, which is why they're going to need mobile suits.
Well, they might. You never know who's working on the asteroid belt and everything.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they do with them.
But yeah, no, clearly Nobilis, whatever the hell his name is, who was supposed to show up this episode but didn't.
He's still on his way. It's a long journey.
Well, he's the moneybags, the one they contacted specifically to fund them and everything. So
they did lay out what seems to be the plot line for the rest of the series. They have 3 places that they're going to go to, 2 different stations, and then also Earth. So there's going to be more episodes around those in the future.
Well, I don't know. You suggested back in episode 3 that they would go to Earth real quick and then return to Mars, like, immediately.
Right, maybe that's the halfway point. Who knows?
Well, we're on episode 4. How many episodes are there? 12, I would assume?
25.
That's 2 seasons, though, right?
Is it? I thought a season is normally 25, but like a half season's 12.
Well, no. God, what are they called? I can't remember what they're called, but a normal season is like 11 or 12. And then you have a second season, but the problem is a lot of people get it confused. Like, Gate, but you watched Gate, I watched Gate separately. Or are watching Gate. Gate is...
I already finished it.
Gate's 1 season. Did you think Gate was 2 seasons?
No, I thought it was 1.
Most people, I'll have you know, believe Gate is 2 seasons. If you were watching it when it came out, there was 11 episodes, or 12, I can't remember, and then almost a year before episodes started coming out again. And people consider that to be a break between, I'm sorry, it was like 6 months. 6 months before new episodes came out. And people thought, okay, this is Gate Season 2. No. There's a word for it, and I can't remember now, where you take a season break.
It has to do more with production cycle than like narrative through lines wrapping up, right?
Right, but I mean, narrative through lines don't actually make a season either. You can have 2 seasons of one story.
Gosh, was episode 12 like when they did the Ithaca battle or something? I'm trying to remember what like the halfway point of that series is, and I've already forgotten.
I just mean that there's a word for it, and it's based on like a season break between things, but it's all one season.
So then to clarify here, out of 25 episodes, I think by episode 12, they ought to be nearing their objective or there, and then there's more space afterwards for them to just go wherever, because they've already been there. More time skips. That's going to be my assumption. But, you know, we'll see how that pans out in several more episodes. We got a Mars fight first. In space.
Well, I mean, that would be a space fight. And
Space Mars fight.
no, it's not on Mars, it's in space.
But it's around Mars. Maybe even in its atmosphere.
Sure, it's in proximity to Mars, but it's still in space.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're going to have this Mars space debate next time. Right now, it's been Stoneface Reactions. I'm Griffin. This is Theta, and we'll catch you next episode. See ya. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?